Hello again, Rolling Air Raiders. Welcome back to our firing range where we're testing all the weapon types in EDF 5. We're finishing up Air Raider. This time we're working on the Satellite Blaster Spritefall column and the Limpet gun column. Let's start with the Satellite Blaster and Spritefall area. This is probably the second most used air raids in my opinion as far as how often I use them. I would say this is probably the most common. Actually, I might say third, because this is probably the most common along with one of the reloadable air raids. But then I almost always take one from this column or from the missile column. So this is a very useful column. Satellite Blaster, level 90 is the best Satellite Blaster he has. This thing does 233,000 damage, 233,940 damage. It has a 9-meter area of attack, and it reloads in 30.8 seconds, which is very, very fast for that damage. It's very great, of course, on anchors, on precision targets, or on precision, like trying to take out big targets, rather. But it's also very good because it's fast, so you can actually use it for small targets or moving targets. So it's a very universal, very good weapon for bosses as well, especially for boss enemies. So let me take one of these. It has a good range too, so you don't have to worry about the range. It's over 1,000, I believe, maxed out. And then there's Spritefalls. The Spritefalls are mainly used for just quick burst damage that you need. However, there also is longer-lasting Spritefalls, which can be used more like airstrikes. So it depends on what you need. First, let me talk about this thing. This isn't a unique weapon that they added to this. I think it's an EDF 2 as well, though, but it's unique to the at least to the West EDF series. It's one shot, and it reloads very low points to reload it. It's only 77 points to reload it, so pretty much one kill and you get it reloaded. And when it's maxed out, it does 8,997 damage, and it's a 15-meter blast. So it's more like a light beam shot more than like a explosion shot, but pretty interesting weapon. I don't use it too often, but it doesn't mean it's bad by any means. It's just more of like a quick precision attack for single targets. But I don't know, I tend to usually use airstrikes that do more of like an AoE effect where I'm attacking more than one target at a time. But not to say this is bad though, I just don't use it much. And then onto the Spritefall. Now there's three different kinds of Spritefalls. There's a long-lasting Spritefall, there's a short-lasting Spritefall, and then there's more of like a large area Spritefall or a small target Spritefall. So this is the long-lasting Spritefall. I don't really use it too much because I don't really care for how wide it is. It's a 70-meter blast area. It does a total of 160,752 damage, and it has 1,230 points to reload it. So the reason I don't like it, I guess, is because, like I said, it lasts a very long time. It's very spread out, so it seems like the shots miss an awful lot because it's not explosive. It's just like light beams that shoot down. And the damage, and the reload points, it seems kind of high for that. I almost rather take a, I don't know, a KM6 or a bombing plan if I'm going to be using long-lasting damage on one target. Or on a large area, rather, because it's not very good for one target. It's not very good for anchors because it's so widespread. So let me take one of those as well. I think it has its uses, but I think it's more of I don't know, I prefer the other ones, which I'll show later here. Let's see, what's a good mission to take these out on? Let's use it on this mission. I think you start on a roof on this mission. So I would say Satellite Blaster is probably, I don't know, I guess I'd say half and half. I use Satellite sometimes, I use Spritefall sometimes. But it really depends on the circumstance. But the Satellite Blaster is amazing, at least the best one is. It's very fast, it calls in very fast. As you can see, it's almost within a second. And it's very fast to move, so if you want to move it to different targets, it's very good. And of course it also has a very large area of attack as well, 15 meters, so it's good on small enemies, good on large enemies, good on anchors. It's good on, you know, if you just want to do some damage on a certain area, just tap the trigger. It's going to go there, it's going to do its damage, and then it's going to stop. So you don't have to worry about, you know, babysitting it if you're trying to attack an anchor or something. So, you know, it's a very useful overall weapon, and it reloads so fast too, which is crazy. At least the best one does. So, let's go ahead and restart now. And then there's also this weapon, which is a one-shot, and it's like pretty much like a satellite beam, just one beam. Mine is not maxed out, so that might be part of the reason why it doesn't level, why I didn't reload. But just like calling it a beam from the sky, one quick beam. So it's mainly for being very accurate on single targets. Like I said, I don't really use it too much. Mine's not maxed out as far as damage or on points, but I'm trying to think of what circumstances you'd use it in, honestly, because I think the other weapons outclass it, honestly. I mean, it's always going to be up pretty much, but you could say also for the KM6, the one single line. So I'm not sure how I feel about that weapon, honestly. I think it does penetrate 2 targets as well. But I mean, it does quite a bit of damage for just a single shot, so. But you definitely don't want to mess with it, because if you do, then you're not going to be able to reload it. You'll have to use something else until you reload it. So, interesting weapon. And then last of all, the Sprite Fall. This Sprite Fall is 70 meters, like I said before. And as you'll see here, it covers a large area, but it's very spread out. So it's not good for, like, you know, anchors or for single targets. It's more for like an airstrike. If you want to attack an area with a lot of damage, that would be your weapon to do. But I think other air raids do better, though. Like, explosives will actually hit more area within that large circle, rather than this, where it's just a single shot. And also, the KM6, I think, does a better job of peppering an area closer shots together. So I don't know. I just don't use the Sprite Fall too much. But there is one that's level 72 that's below this one, which I use a lot. Now, the one that's level 72 is it's a very short lasting Sprite Fall, but it does 130,464 damage compared to the 160,000. So just a little bit less damage. The points are a little bit less as well. It's 1153 compared to 1230. But the reason I like this is because it calls in fast. It calls in like a shorter area. It's 60 meters instead of 70 meters, so it's not a huge difference, but it is definitely a difference. And also, just it's good for smaller targets. I like it more on anchors as well, personally. And then level 63 is the next one I'll talk about. This one is a pretty good Sprite Fall, considering its level. It does 215,944. This is, so it's the highest. It's even higher than the level 76 as far as damage-wise. It's only 1,076 points, so it's less damage or less points than the best Sprite Fall. It is 70 meters, however, though, so I don't really care for that. But to be fair, this is actually a better Sprite Fall than the level 76 one because of how much damage it does. So let's take one of those. So I'm not sure why actually that is the case, because everything else, like, it's the same radius as the best one, less points and more damage. I'm not sure what makes it inferior for being level 63. And there's a level 54 I want to show as well. Now this one is a very small one, so 50 meters, which is nice. The damage is 151,000. So this actually does more damage than the level 72, the one I like. Or sorry, it does a little bit less damage rather than the one I like, but it has a smaller radius. So therefore, this might be a better Sprite Fall for taking out anchors if you're just wanting to do smaller targets, like taking out anchors. I think this might be the best one, just for how small. Although I think Satellite Blaster is probably almost always better for taking out anchors. This is more precision. So 50 meters, 151,000, only 1,000 points to call it in, and it lasts a very long time as well. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So let's take these three out. So I mean, they're very similar to each other, but they're just a little slight changes. But let me show this level 72. This is the one I use an awful lot over the 76 by far. So I think it's, yeah, my first. It's hard to tell sometimes because there's no letters or numbers necessarily on these, so you have to remember what they are. Alright, so let me call it right here. It's a very fast attack. So like if you have moving targets that are coming after you, it's good in that respect because it does all its damage really fast. Because all the shots are more damage, so therefore there's less shots, but it does more damage because they're higher damage shots. Let me go ahead and restart. That's the one I like an awful lot. Here is the Sprite fall that has the most damage in the game, level 63, 215,000 damage, and it does 70 meters. I kind of missed some there, didn't I? But this one actually, like I said, is better than the level 76 in every way, so definitely go for the level 63 over the 76 if you ever have the choice. Lasts a pretty long time. Pretty good damage. Let me restart and do the last one. And then this one is the Sprite fall that is very small, 50 meters only, in a 50 meter radius, but it does 151,000 damage. But it lasts a very long time, so this would be good more so on anchors, I guess. But yeah, there's nothing really too different about them, just more about the radius and the damage and the speed of them. So yeah, those are the Sprite falls. Let me go back to the main thing. And then before I move on to the Sprite falls, let me do an overview pretty much. So I recommend, probably if you're trying to do damage on moving targets, I would recommend the 72 because of how fast all the shots come down on the targets. So if they're moving out of the area, they're going to probably get hit by most of the targets before they actually get out of the area. If you're trying to do a just stay in one area, do a large radius, and just do constant damage, really high DPS, then the level 63 is the best because of how much damage it does overall. And I would say those are probably the main two you're going to want to use, honestly, because the level 54, it does decent damage, 151,000, but it's a small area and it's lasts for a long time. So unless you have a reason to use it like that, then I guess that would be a good one too. So those are the main three that I use. And then of course the Satellite Blaster. The Satellite Blaster, this is a quick reload one, the 30.8 seconds to level 90. But there's also a unique one that's level 45 that I want to show. The way you can tell how long it lasts is how many shots. This one has 600 shots. It's the second to last stat on the bottom there. So this one has 600 shots. And then there is, where's another one? This one right here has 700 shots, so it lasts a little bit longer. But it's relatively the same, pretty close. And then there is this one, level 45. It has 1,600 shots. So this one lasts a very, very long time. But it also takes 92 seconds, 92.3 seconds to reload. It does 172,800 damage, so it's very comparable actually to the level 91. But it just takes a long time to do that damage. So let's take one of those out really quick. So I really like this one on hard and hardest because of just, you know, if you're going to put this thing out, you know it's going to have a lot of time to play with it to use it. So if you're going to use it more like a protection weapon for yourself, you can use it for that as well, because of just how long it lasts. And it's very fast as well. So it lasts over twice as long as the other Satellite Blaster. So it's very high damage, especially for its level too. So if you ever want to kill an anchor with this, it would definitely kill an anchor, probably two of them. So very good Satellite Blaster. So just something to keep in mind if you want a long-lasting one and a good low-level one as well. All right, let's move on to the Limpet guns. The Limpet guns, I don't really use them too often, and it's kind of disappointing because they're fun and they're decent weapons. But ever since they made this column right here, reload, this column definitely outclasses self-protection. If you're just trying to fight off single enemies that are coming after you, this column is probably gonna be your best bet overall. But so therefore the Limpet guns aren't as useful. As far as the Limpet guns, they have all the same Limpet guns back. The Limpet chain gun is back. This thing reloads very fast. It's only a 1.1 second reload. It does 15,289 damage total for the whole magazine, and it has a 4.4 meter blast. So it's not too bad. very decently accurate actually as well when you have it leveled up. But let me take one of those. And then there is also a Limpet Sniper. Sometimes I'll use the Limpet Sniper, but it's kind of rare. It's only 15,288 damage for 3 shots, so it's not the highest damage. It's got a 2.9 second reload. It says it has a 7 meter blast, but I don't think this has any kind of blast at all on it. As far as, but you can't really, I think you can hurt yourself, but it's very difficult. Like if you're shooting an ant, if you're in an red ant's mouth and you shoot it, it will actually hurt you, so it's something to be careful with. So the damage doesn't seem high enough for it to be a good sniper. I mean, if it had more shots, I think I could see using it more, but this is his best sniper, though, to shoot from underneath, like a dropship or something. But usually I'll just take up a Galta instead to take down ships instead of a sniper, so I don't know. And then he also has a Limpet Splendor, and this thing is just your standard Limpet Splendor. It has 23 shots. It does 18,740 damage and a 1.2 second reload. So that's one thing nice about these Limpet guns, is they do reload very fast now. So let me look for underground mission here. This is actually, it's too slow of a start for that one. Let's take this one. Where is it? I thought it was higher level than that. There it is, 32. So I don't know how to feel about the Limpet guns anymore. I mean, obviously underground it's better because you can't call in those air raids. So I would say underground it's more useful, but he has such good turrets now that I don't know. But I do find using it more underground, of course. Here's the Limpet chain gun, pretty fun. I mean, it does have a quick reload, but unfortunately it has to set them all off before it'll start reloading. So, but it's very strong. 15,289. And then there's the Limpet Sniper, which is very strong. 5,000-ish damage per shot, but only 3 shots, unfortunately. So, and you can't hurt yourself on this thing too. I don't have mine maxed out. There is 3 shots, but mine only has 2. Pretty sure you can hurt yourself with this thing. You stand right on top of it. Huh, I thought for sure you could. Maybe you can't. Okay, well maybe not. Although I think if an ant is biting you, it's a different story. But I don't know. Actually, let me restart for the Splendor. And then Splendor, of course, is always nice for underground and in tunnels. You can always shoot it inside like a tight cavern, and then just set them all, and it bounces everywhere. So, always a fun weapon. But yeah, if I ever take a Limpet gun, usually it's just one gun, and then I'll take a stationary weapon. Stationary weapons are really good. So yeah, same as previously, same as before. There's actually is one new Limpet gun I can show though. Let's see. Now onto the next one. And then there's your standard Limpet gun, just a standard Limpet bomb. It's like an explosive. It has 12 shots maxed out. It does 10,191 damage total. 8.7 meter blast and 1.8 second reload. So quick reloads seem like it's a trend. They seem like they changed it, because I thought in the previous game it had longer reloads. And then there's a Limpet trap gun still, where you shoot little traps on the ground and they set off when enemies go over them. The Limpet Splendor trap does 211,952 damage, so a lot of damage. You get 5 of them, and it has a 27.3 meter search range, and then a 5.1 second reload. So a long reload, unfortunately, but definitely strong. And then there is a Splendor Shot, which is back, which is like a shotgun, level 47. Has 3 shots. It does 57,120 and a 2.2 second reload. So pretty good reload on that thing as well. I think the previous game had a long reload on the Splendor Shot, so that's a change. Let me shoot my trap gun here first, so that when they come after me, so it just shoots like a. Mine is not maxed out though, but yeah, it has, you know, decent range, 27 meter. Actually, well, 27 meter range, and you get 5 of them. And if you want to, you can place them really short together as well if you want to do a lot of damage to one target as they walk over it. So that's something interesting. And here's just your standard limpet gun. Nice explosive limpet gun. Decent blast. Shoots decently straight. Quick reload. So pretty good. And then Limpet Splendor Shot. It's like a big explosion. And it's just, condensed into 3 shot, or what is it? Looks like it's 3 shots, yeah, maxed out. So I'd like something to walk into my trap here. Looks like they're fighting the NPCs. Let me reload my trap. Let me actually restart and try and get the trap to use here at the beginning. You can actually shoot the enemies with it too and they'll still go off, which is interesting. But yeah, it's an interesting weapon for sure. It's unfortunate you can't like reload until they're all set off, so you can, you can manually reload it, but I wish you could just keep reloading in the background and keep laying traps. But I understand why you couldn't do that, because if you did, then you could just start to level up, put down 200 traps, and then start the mission. So that would be kind of broken. Let's see, and then the last one I have to show is level 43, which is another unique one. It's only for, I wish they made like high level versions of this. But it's like a explosive shotgun. But it's too bad they only have low level. You can still use it on hard. It's level 43, so it's not terrible. But it's like a shotgun explosion, which is a really cool idea. I like it. It's interesting the enemies don't see you shoot the splendor shot on them until you set it off. Shoots relatively fast too. But yeah, pretty cool. They do go off in like a chain succession though, they don't all go off at once, which is weird. But yeah, those are all the limpet guns. So overall, I'll use them once in a while underground, but I just don't see a use too much for them because of just how good this column is right here. Like for example, if you want to, if you're trying to shoot more than one target, like if you're trying to just protect yourself from small targets, then like the 150 is good because it has more than one shot. Or like the 120, I really like to use a lot as too for single targets. But also if you're looking for a lot massive damage on one target, then that's where the 105 is great, or the the M2. But it has its options all in this column, unless you're underground, of course. So yeah, overall I think his air raids are very, very strong this time, and just how quick the reload on this satellite blaster is just ridiculous. I think it's going to be very useful in a lot of missions. Very good weapon, and then Sprite Falls are just a great weapon overall too. So yeah, that's everything for these two columns. Next time we're going to cover the stationary turrets and the weird weapons he has. Like he has some weird weapons, which actually got some changes this time, and then also just the defensive stuff. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.